Oh man, we got Johnny Gill in the background. What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. Link will be in the description box below. I'm about to talk about child support dependency. You know, listening to a balladeer. Now, it's basically, I'm talking about how some people on child support get dependent to the point where, you know, they can't function as adults and they can't be proper parents because they're too busy eating off of their children. And a lot of these people who are child support dependent, in my opinion, don't take care of their kids, you know. And this goes into a few other things because a lot of this, let's just get right into it. There are women who have children, because women predominantly have custody of children. So there are women who get pregnant and their first thing is to get child support. That's an extra check. Now, first and foremost, for you fathers out there, if a child is from birth to pre-K, unless you're paying maybe $1,000 a month in child support, I'm not gonna lie. If that kid's in daycare, you probably getting ahead. Now once they turn 5 and start going to kindergarten, school, no matter what you're paying too much. In this particular society at this particular point, because the school has them. You're a taxpayer if you're paying taxes, and you know, so the school, your taxes pay the school, blah 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 blah. But in the beginning, you probably getting off. I'm not, but for you custodial parents out there who use child support as a second income, you know, y'all keep thinking that you're child support dependent if you're one of those people who your child support is your car note money. If your child support money is how you bought your cell phone. If your child support money is how you buy yourself clothes, you know, your child support dependent if you're saving child support money to go on vacation. You know, it's an extra income. Because some people, like, at a certain point, they start depending on their support system and their family members, and their family members and their support system actually take care of their kid, and they don't really compensate their support system or family and friends for taking care of their kids. They just use the child support money as an extra check to save. You know, some of you people are child support dependent because when you have apartments, because a lot of people don't realize, like, when you buy things like homes, lease apartments, buy cars and stuff like that, they count these people's child support in as income to that could come in to actually pay these things off. So if you're a person who has a job, but you're lumping in your child support to show that you make enough money to maintain your lifestyle, you're child support dependent. Because at that particular point, if you're one of those people who have to have your child support rolled in as a factor, rolled into your mortgage, your income saying that you can afford a mortgage, or your income to say you can afford an apartment, or your income to say you can afford a car, then that in itself says that you're not using your child support on your child. Don't give me that speech about they live with me or I gotta drive them in the car. No. Because on the flip side of that, the person who's paying child support, if they can afford a mortgage while paying the child support, if they can afford to maintain an apartment or a lease while paying child support, if they can afford to have a car or make car payments when they're paying child support, because on the flip side, when they go to fill out these same things, that's deducted out. Like, are you paying child support or blah, 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 blah. That comes up. That's a thing that comes up on a regular basis, you know. So if they can afford to take care of themselves without child support, while paying child support, you should be able to afford to take care of yourself while receiving child support. You know, so a lot of people are child support dependent because, you know, and since it's February still, you know, a lot of people getting tax money from their children. That means you're child support dependent because there's a lot of people who look at their children as, I'm gonna get this amount in child support every month, and then I'm gonna get this amount for claiming my child at tax time. So a lot of people are at least clearing 5 figures a year on their kid. You know, I don't care if it's low 5, and depending on how high of a child support some guys are paying. This is tax-free money, basically. So when your child still doesn't have, but you have a monthly income to take care of them, but that's rolled into your monthly living expenses, well, what happens when your child becomes of age? See, now you can't afford to live there no more, right? Now you can't afford to drive that car anymore, right? You see, we don't want to talk about that, you know, where I've come across the people who want to ask for an increase near the end, or who want to, you know, roll it over for an extra amount of time. You know, your child support. Let me tell you something. If you're one of those parents who, when your kid turns 18, you petition to make sure that they continue the child support while their kids in college, if their kids go to college, but the kid doesn't, your child doesn't receive the child support while they're in college. You do while they're at school. You're child support dependent. A lot of people that do that, you know, oh, my baby's off to college. So what the hell, your 18, 19, 20, 21, 22-year-old baby who doesn't live with you, what are you doing with their child support money? But people act like that doesn't happen when that's a regular thing. Here's the problem. You're child support dependent. And a lot of people have multiple kids because of their child support dependency. You know, there are people who have kids by different people so they can get different amounts of money, you know, who sleep with people purposely and get pregnant by people purpose, or who intentionally try to get pregnant by a person because of their income. They're already breaking it. Well, I can get this much a month from this person because they do this for a living, or they have this much money. And there are people who are child support dependent like that. You know, that's how they get ahead in life. There are people who have kids by multiple people who, okay, well, this person makes this much. I can't get nothing from this other person, so I'm going to get pregnant or have a baby with this person, and I'm going to get this much out of them, and I'm going to take care of my kids off of this person, and this person who not going to take care of their baby, you know what I'm saying? They're not going to take it there. So they're dependent on a particular person who makes more money to not only take care of their child, but their other child that is not by that particular person, because they're dependent on them being able to take care of 2 children. You get what I'm saying? So that's a problem. Major problem. So those people are child support dependent. And then you see the people who, same thing with Section 8 and SNAP and, you know, food stamps and all that other type of stuff. And you see it come to a head when these people when their kids wind up becoming adults. Because one thing that we don't want to address is there are a lot of people whose children are of age, and these parents are first-time adults because they've been living off of their income with child support this whole time, and now they actually have to live off of their own work that they have for themselves, and they can't do it because they've actually built their lifestyle off of child support as like passive income, you know. And you can tell because if you think about it, a lot of these kids should not have the student loans that they have, the amount in student loans that they have, because they should have been receiving child support for a long time, a particular amount of time, and at least some of that money should have went to a college fund. You didn't use all of, they didn't, because a lot of these parents don't spend every dollar of that child support every month on that child. We all know that to be true. So when people say somebody's on the hook for 18 years, you can't tell me if somebody's paying $600, $800, $1,000 a month for a child for 18 years, or depending if whenever y'all broke up, 10, 15 years, whatever that is, right? That by the time this child goes to college, they have absolutely nothing. That means you were child support dependent, because ultimately you didn't look out for their future. You looked out for your present. And now that they're gone, they're behind the 8 ball, because what happened to the money? You kept the car, you kept the clothes, and a lot of these kids ain't being taken care of as far as, you know, just general maintenance. You know, kids aren't as active as they used to be, so you don't see kids going to activities, or parents being like soccer moms, and I'm driving you here and driving you there. You hear that more of married women than you do single women. You know, that's just how it goes. So it's just my conversation on child support dependency. We out.